the anticipation of waiting for the live button to start. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On today, I have the honor and the privilege of introducing one of our dynamic speakers for the third annual Attract Abundance Conference and Gala. And she is a powerful speaker, a powerful CEO, a powerful leader, but a wonderful woman, a wonderful woman. So I'm just peacock proud, and I am just busting at the seams to be able to introduce y'all to this queen. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me and how we got together, and then Ticki, you can take it away. So I love networking, and she was introduced to me by one of the wonderful women in my network, and I said, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. She's so amazing. She looks like me. She works with women millionaires who look like me. Like, I was just in awe. And so when I reached out to her, I said, you know what? She's probably not going to want to talk to me. Little old me. Oh my gosh. Not only did she talk to me, but she said, I want to just pour into you and let's pray. And so even before we went live today, we prayed. So this is the type of leader that I love to partner with. I love to collaborate with. Ticki, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling on today?
I am feeling amazing. I am calling you. I'm here from Houston, Texas. Me and my daughter traveled in this morning. My grandmother turned 100 on Wednesday. And so we have a centennial in our family, And so I am feeling blessed beyond measure in looking at the promises of God in my maternal bloodline. And I was just counting up the years between my grandmother, my mother, myself, and my daughter. And I think the number was 249 years combined. And so I'm just being very reflective of I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so today my heart is just bursting to be able to come here and see my family and be with my grandmother who turned 100 on Wednesday. So she's 103 days old by the time we celebrate.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad that longevity runs in your family.
Yes,
We need you
yes,
for a long time. We need
yes,
you for a long time.
yes, yes, yes,
Left to be done. Thank you again
yeah.
for saying yes to being one of our speakers. And I want people to hear your amazing bio. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others Miss Ticki Favoroth. She is a faith driven CEO. Can't you already tell? Faith driven CEO and founder with an unwavering commitment to legacy. She is known for her adaptability and expansive expertise. She has strengthened major corporations and has launched transformative ventures and become a trusted guide for those navigating their path to a brighter future. She inspires people to confront difficult truths, redefine success, and create lasting impact. She has her MBA from Texas Women's University and a BBA from Texas Tech. She is the senior partner and managing director at HR and Co, where she delivers strategic solutions that align people, processes, and purpose. Her expertise spans human resources, business optimization, organizational strategy, and helping clients navigate through complex challenges while achieving sustainable growth. Her leadership extends to many other entrepreneurs, business leaders, and owners, and she served as the former president of the Bow Enterprises and vice president and COO of the Bow Collective, where she fostered collaboration and innovation to create generational impact. She has created partnerships with Fortune 500 companies such as ExxonMobil and Target Corporation, as well as government organizations like the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. She is a sought after speaker, a thought leader. She delivers incredible insights and practical solutions so that she can have the great impact that she have before us. And her faith drives what she does, and she is excellent, and her standard is excellence. So again, thank you, Ticki, for being
Thank you.
here. How was it
Yes,
listening to your
yes,
bio? I'm talking about you, Queen.
yes. Well, I want to do one edit where you said I created partnerships I used to work for in my corporate days. I did a small stint at Exxon, Target, U.S. Department of Homeland Security when they were starting before it was TSA. So I want to put that edit because in today's time, if you don't fact check yourself, somebody else will. So I wanted to make that correction. But I've since then in my own business have worked with some amazing companies and have served their organizations overall.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for clarifying that. I want to get it right. I want to
Yeah,
get it
no,
right.
no
And,
worries.
and speaking about the transition,
Yeah.
or as we highlight the transition, we have many women who listen to the podcast, who come to the conference, who listen to the live videos, and they have incredible corporate careers. But
Mhm.
at some point in time, they are either deciding to transition into full time entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
or involuntarily they move
Right,
into entrepreneurship.
right.
And so tell us, what was that transition like for you?
So first of all, if anyone is thinking about change, and that's the umbrella where you're going to change organizations, change job levels, change to become an entrepreneurship, get married, become a mom, serve in your community. The name of the game is change. And one of the things I would say is as you think about change, change comes by force or choice, but change will always be here. And, one of the things I would advise is that you should always be doing a strategic planning session with yourself at least once a year and then checking in on your plan. And that is your personal, your professional, your spiritual, your financial, whatever dimensions you want in your plan so that you can steward that change when change is brewing in or when you want to actually be the instigator of change. In 2017, I had a major life event that caused me to think about the future of what I wanted to do. I'd been in organizations I had served and, really wanted to drive impact. And I remember working for a CEO and doing that process, I had a paradigm shift around titles versus impact. And I remember him saying to me, a title doesn't matter. It's the impact that you're making for an organization that matters. And instantly it changed how I saw the work that I was doing. So in 2016, I had a major life event. I found out I was going to become a mom. And so that really, like many mothers, made you think about the dynamics of your family. What are you going to do? What's really important? All the things, because this was a little blessing. It came out of nowhere. And so I knew at that moment that I no longer wanted to serve corporate the way that I had full time, traveling, all those things, and decided to really do what I was doing, but on my own. I could be at home, work from home, be at home with the baby and some of that. And at the time that I started, I never imagined that it would grow the way that it did, even though I knew it needed to sustain me. And it has been a blessing to take all of the tools that I learned in corporate and for organizations to translate that where other organizations trust me and my team to work for them. So, what's the silver lining? Three things. Number one, change is going to come, and you have to decide how you want to engage with that change. Number two, you have to have a blueprint and be able to manage that blueprint all the time, even when things you can't control versus things that you can control. And number three, you have to use everything that you've experienced academically, career wise, home wise, to find out what it is that you can do in order to usher in the next opportunity for you. And fortunately for me, it's what I had been doing. But sometimes, like now, since then, I'm doing different things, even though human resources and business was my base. But I've learned to find parallel opportunities that may have fallen in that, to find new passions and new loves and new things that I'm enjoying off of something I started doing when I graduated college a long time ago. So hopefully that helps. And one of the things I will say is that nothing happens happenstance. And
Mhm.
if you believe that, then you're right where you need to be. You're in the perfect conditions in order to make the next best decision and the next best move for you, even if it feels like you're in a storm. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
I love that. You
Yeah.
seem very centered. You seem very confident in your calling, and just just know who you are, and where you've been, and your purpose. What would you say to the woman who is scared, nervous? She's like, I know change is happening. Change is happening right now.
Yeah.
But I really like to be able to see the future. I like to be able to see clues. And right now, it's just fuzzy, it's hazy. I
Yeah.
can't see it. I
Yeah.
don't know what the other side of this is going to look like. What would you say to her?
That's a great place to be, because that means that you have not spent time in prayer or in quiet time listening. Let me give you an example. Let's just say that there's a spot on the wall that you want to look at. That's the direction you want to go. But you're like a little kid spinning around, spinning around, spinning around, and you get dizzy. Even though you kept looking at that spot, you cannot see it. I don't want to minimize. You got laid off, bills are due. I've been there. You Something has happened in your personal life or whatever. I don't want to minimize experiences and what they mean, but they are really opportunities dressed up for you to solve something. So if you are out there and you feel like everything is crashing apart, perception is reality. It's probably real. The boat is breaking. Here are four things that I would suggest you do. Thing number one, get a blank piece of paper. I've coached many people. Start with nothing. Assume everything is gone. It's all gone, whatever it is. And where are you? Anchor yourself in where you are right now. I have a home, I have a car, I have this, I have that. Then draw that future point. Where do you want to go? Sit there. Don't just do it because I just want another job. I just like, where do you really want to go? And put that point on your piece of paper and name it. Now, what you have to do is get from where you are to where you want to go, what's called the middle. Sometimes it's the messy middle,
Yes.
sometimes it's the hard middle, sometimes it's the broken middle. But if you take step by step, by step, by step, by step, you will eventually get there. And when you get there, there's a new point to get over there. And so I will, in the spirit of using just personal examples, I was one of those people who used to live paycheck to paycheck. And I woke up one day and says, enough, I'm done. I cannot. I was one of those individuals that when stressed, I used to do retail therapy.
It's
And I used to go out there, just to be honest, Walmart was my secret place to be, and 2 for 10 and 3 for 5s. And I had a whole back stock at my home. But, and one day I woke up and it says, I'm done with this. So my here was, I'm like, where am I? I downloaded all my bank accounts. If I had credit cards, I hadn't had credit cards in a long time, credit cards. What was I? And I just laid it all out and told myself the truth. This is the type of financial situation you're in. And because you're living paycheck to paycheck, and the pressure is what's driving you to go binge shop because you feel like you want some of your paycheck. It was the truth. And over there was saving. It was to be able to take international trips, and it was to be able to do this. And I gave there a number. Okay, I want to just have this amount saved. So then I put a strategy in the middle, was like what was fixed versus variable. Knocked out all the variable. The fix, I can't change it. Just pay it on time. And slowly made a commitment to save X amount every time I got paid, no matter what. And then when that amount reached a certain amount, I would have what's called the vault. Once it went into the vault, I could never take it out. And I kept going doing that over every day, over and over and over. It's like people who work out. People who work out, they love to work out 5, 6 days a week. You can tell because they got muscles, they got good eating habits. You can tell they've been in the gym. Not so myself. But
not
it's
yet.
the same way. It's the same way. It's the same. But everybody, you can tell people who cook, who are chefs, or who, you can tell where you're spending your time and what you love because you can see the results. And so if you are spinning around and you are lost, there's no minimizing what it is. Stop spinning, get your blank sheet of paper, anchor yourself, tell yourself the truth, identify where there is, and slowly work on the strategies and the plans and the commitment and the discipline and the all the adjectives they give us to slowly move there. And that one change for me not only changed my financial trajectory, but it gave me discipline in how, what I was buying, what I was eating, where I was going, because all of these things were linked to discipline, to changing where I was to where I wanted to go.
Yes, you named some very powerful things. There's someone watching on YouTube right now that said, yes, the middle. And that's where a lot of us are. I had a woman actually send me a DM and she was like, have any of your speakers made have deposited like $1 million and made millions of dollars? I'm like, yes. Yes, but I'm not going to tell who or who, but yes. But then there are some of us who are in what my former coach would call the messy middle, not just the middle, but the messy middle. Those are for those of us that are there. We've made multiple six figures. We've made multiple six figures in a year, but we're right in the middle of getting ready to make 7 within a calendar year, or we made 7 within our business. But what I have found is, as I decided to up level the types of clients that I work with, I'm thinking like, okay, if I work with more women who make more money, of course they're going to be able to put more towards their retirement plan. Of course they're going to have more to reinvest. And that was not the case. What I have found is that there are many women who have mastered the art of selling, who have mastered the art of making money, but they have not mastered the art of making sure they're disciplined to make sure that they take care of themselves as well as the business. We can see how my business went from 6 figures a year, from zero first, because we all start at zero. We all start at zero. From zero to get to 6 figures a year, and then 6 figures a quarter, and then 6 figures a month. And some people have 6-figure days. But after everybody is paid, after the personnel is paid, after the bills are paid, after the debt is eliminated on the business side, that businesswoman is looking at what she's built and she's like, okay, when can I retire? Can I afford to retire? How do I make this thing run to the point to where I can enjoy the fruits of my labor if I decided to sell or retire now? So I'm so glad you mentioned discipline in terms of disciplines, consistency, the need to not have retail therapy, because I too to be guilty of retail therapy. Like there's nothing like me, getting online, going to Dillard's, Ross, Burlington. Those are my places. I have become very aware of the things that trigger that. So I want to speak a little bit to the triggering, because again, I've met women who are millionaires on paper, who make millions of dollars in their companies, but for whatever reason, they have not yet been able to save, invest, or adequately prepare their own personal portfolio to the point to where they can truly feel like they will never run out of money. So I want to speak to what are some of the triggers as a high performing, faith-based CEO and leader, where you're leading other leaders. You have your own company, you have your own purpose driven life, you have your own home life. What are some of the triggers that we as business women experience that we need to be mindful of to not take us off track from our financial goals, our business goals, or even our personal goals?
Yeah, good question. I would say everyone has convictions, personal convictions, spiritual convictions, emotional convictions. Everybody has something. And so I can only speak for me. I made a decision that day when I said I was not going to live paycheck to paycheck, that I changed my relationship with money. I changed how I saw money, what I did with money, what money did with me. And I knew that I didn't have a poverty mindset because I didn't come from lack. I had um, I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the knowledge. Get a bank account, save $2, put it in a savings account for a rainy day, pay your bills on time so you get good credit, and then what? And so in that process of discipline, I began to get knowledge, get wisdom at all things, even if you have to pay for it. What are some of the triggers? Number one, and I learned this probably been in the bow. I'd heard this for the first time, that people have what's called a lifestyle business. And I was like, what is a lifestyle business? Where you kill, eat, and you spend it all. You spend on
Mm.
your lifestyle. And then I met sisters that had real businesses. Like, I wanted them to be my mentors because it was like, wow, you know, how did I saw it on TV, but in that spectrum was around understanding who you are and what you want. Now that I have a daughter and I think about 10 generations, I can't kill and eat everything and not leave some from her. So just that one event changed my whole focus on what does that look like. Two, I knew that for me, I'm not a big TV watcher. I don't do a lot of other things, but going to the spa, reading a book, that and taking a vacation is my jam. So I would set money aside for the things that brought me joy, that when I came out of hard working seasons, that there was resources for me to go to the spa, to go take a trip, even if it was a staycation, so that I wouldn't get back into that binge behavior. Like, I can't do nothing for myself. Spend, you spend. Um, and then I think it's like, if you it, and you have to have good professionals that can help you. I've met so many people along the path that is all for them. And even though I invested my trust, they led me down a very slippery slope. So now I have to trust and verify. And if you find someone that is good, such as yourself, Terry, with money and insurance and connections, or if you don't know, you'll introduce, start with a blueprint.
Mhm.
I would like to have $1 million in assets in 10 years. Great, that's there. Okay. So in order to get to $1 million in assets in 10 years, let's talk about, what do you want those asset classes to look like? I want some land. I want some of this. I want some of that. Okay, good. What does that look like in percentages? All right. Now we're coming back from there. Then what do you need to do to generate the money to do that? I can cut this streaming off. I can go out to eat once or twice a month versus every other day. Just things like that you begin to start, because over there is more important, or equally important, as well as right now. So I want to put this into something. When you do not have a clear vision, a clear goal for what you want to achieve now and there, you will have things that will allow you to trigger you or to get you out of your discipline because you forget there. Now, let me just be clear. There have been times where I just said, you know what? I know I'm supposed to wait until 6 months, but I got to do something now because the pressure's there. But the resources were already there. I didn't go borrow this and do this and put myself back in the hole to go do this. And then when I came back out, I was 2x deeper. So what I'd like to say is that you can do it. Blank piece of paper. I use a 4 quadrant. So when I do my plan, I says, where do I want to be spiritually? I don't want to keep myself grounded. Then I do mentally. That's my top line. Then the bottom is personal and professional. Because if I'm not mentally and spiritually sound, healthy, then personally and professionally, it's immaterial. And sometimes there's some things I have to focus on personally, the weight, the percentage of time is spent there, or sometimes it's professionally. It's not 50-50. So I would just say that know where you are and where you're going. And when you know what you want to look like, build a persona of Ticki in 20 years when she becomes a billionaire. Like, who is her? Okay, this is what she's doing. Okay, if that's what she's doing, and it's not about the money, because some people say it's about the money, it's just Ticki at a size 0, whatever the case may be, living on an island. Then if that is what I envision, what are the things that I need to be doing now to get there? Maybe it's more education. Maybe it's investing in different social circles or networks. Maybe it's getting a PhD. Maybe it's speaking more. Maybe it's this. So each activity, and then when things come in, I can test it and says, I don't have nothing to do where I'm going. So do I want to do it just because or no? So it helps with the no.
I love how a lot of things that you are saying, you say it like me, slightly different terminology, but we definitely speak the same language. So I've said long before I had any of my other taglines with TNA Financial Group, in order for you to be financially free, you must know where you are and where you want to be. And that is the common theme I keep hearing you mention. And even when I be with my clients who are getting ready to do their retire wealthy consultation or their financial needs analysis, we take a look at this document and I ask them, which of these things are most important to you? And sometimes they'll look at the form and say all of them. And I ask them right now, you have to choose one thing in each category. What is the top priority for now? Because I want to know where you are now. And then after we go through that form, then we look at where would you like to be when you retire? And what does retirement mean for you? Does that mean that you are no longer working? Does that mean that you're leaving your job? You're only working for yourself? Does that mean that you're selling your company? And what is that number? And many people don't know that number. And I let them know it's okay if you don't know that number. We're going to work through that number together. But once you have that number, then you can backwards plan. Then you can plan with the end in mind. And when you get those triggers, like you said, when you get those triggers, you can recognize them and you can say, okay, this is an alignment. This is not an alignment. I also love how you mentioned the organization, the Boat Collective, because I wanted to ask you about that too. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I first started getting to know about the Boat Collective is because I do believe that there's so much power in proximity, and the company that you keep will elevate your mindset, your money, and movement. People tell me, Ticki, they're like, you've changed. I'm like, have I? And I'm like, no, I know what it is. It's just the people that I've been around. It's the conversations that are being had. And so some of my coaches, even, I have been a part of the Boat Collective. So I started watching the Boat Collective and I said, oh my goodness, look at all of these Black women whose companies make at least $1 million a year. Oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like it. I feel that it's like being a little girl and seeing the Barbie doll that looks like you. You're like, oh, that one looks like me. Oh my
Right,
gosh, they made
right,
one that looks like me. Like that's how I felt
right.
when I
Good,
first saw
good, good.
the organization.
Right.
My question for you, as the former president and one of the founding members, I think you were a founding member,
Mhm.
tell me what type of mindset did you have to be in to say, we're going to create and build a community that hasn't been built for us like this before? It has never been done before, but we're going to be the ones to do it.
Yeah. So I want to go back to 2 points and then I'll answer that. So when you were describing your clients, I want to tell somebody it's okay if you don't know. At least by having the conversation, you get the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
At least by having the conversation, you learn what was not on your mind so that you can figure out what should be on your mind.
That's right.
Sometimes we don't move because we think we have to be ready. When I found out I was becoming a mom, I was surprised. And nothing could have prepared me, even months of all the things for when it actually, and nothing is preparing me on the other side. So I want to go back to your point. In our culture and just in general, we don't move until we think we got it all together. Go out without knowing to get what you need. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to say that. First of all, thank you for mentioning the Bow Collective. I was the former vice president and COO, a founding member, and a founding officer in one of the greatest real life PhD business programs that I've ever been in. And so you asked how. Number one, our founder, which is Nick Colbert Johnson, had an idea. God blessed her with an idea. And when she had this idea, the way I came to the bow is because I was looking for something else. And Nick had decided to do the first 50 women to start based on her work on in the White House and very impressive background. And she was going to do 50 women to come together, da, 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 do this thing. And I was meeting with one of the ladies that was going to become one of the first 50 women, Melinda Emerson, the small business lady. My team had met her to do some marketing. She talked to me. We're going to do this thing. I talked to Nick, and then the rest is history. So, thing number one, you have to be you have to be in position and be willing to listen.
Mm. Be in position and be willing to listen. Somebody put that in the comment section. That was good. Say it one more time.
Be in position and be willing to listen. And it goes back to my plan because I had wrote a plan. When this came into my ecosystem, you could see synergies right away. I'm like, okay, well, let's see. She gonna do what again? Well, yeah, I talk to her. It ain't never been done before like this. And I get a chance to be a founder. And what does that mean for legacy because of Leah? Okay, and then I could take all my tools and oh, you want me to be a founding officer and help you do this? I did it for corporate and myself. It's a gift, it's a tool that I have in my toolbox. And by the way, I'm going to volunteer to do it. All growth and lessons does not come with making money.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned in the last 5 years in that organization is greater than probably anybody paid me to do in corporate America on my own, because I had to learn to serve. When I left, over 350 Black women CEOs, and I had never seen that in corporate, never. So I had to even become a version of myself that I had not seen to serve what I always desired and had not seen. And I know people don't about race and gender, but it's just like we were all aspiring to get. It was like, wait, there's 50 right in front of me that I get to serve and pick their brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So, how do you build something like the Bow Collective? Somebody had an idea, and they were willing to invite all of us to this God ordained idea we talk about all the time. We were just talking about it this week. And based upon my plan and what I had been receiving, I listened, I leaned in, and I said, I'm all in because this is legacy. Legacy. I couldn't pay, you can't pay sometimes for legacy. And since being in the boat, you talked about your circle. Um, my daughter's trust attorney met there, wealth advisor met there, people I do business with met there, cardiologists met there, mental health practitioners met there. The Bow book is big, and so I don't have to go look. I have a group of businesses and sisters that I know, like, and trust. I mean, you still got to trust and verify. If everybody, you don't maybe like the way they do business, but you still love them anyway, you know. And so that 5 years taught me, it helped me evolve more into the person I will be as I evolve and move forward. So,
Ooh, oh, I just got chills as you were speaking. I was like, oh my goodness, I can see. I'm a seer.
yeah,
That's how some people would say it. I'm a seer. I see a lot, and I'm putting the pieces together, and it's just so good to me. It tastes like Campbell's soup right now. It's just
see, oh, taste and see
good.
how good.
Oh,
Yes.
taste and see. God is good.
Yes.
He's so good. You
Yes.
said you have to write the vision, make it plain, right? Write down what is it that you want to do? Who is it that you want to become? And then you got to be in position so when the opportunities present themselves, you can be ready. That's why we say you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready and be listening, have a listening ear. Sometimes you got to be quiet. Sometimes you have seasons when you are to speak, and sometimes there are seasons in which you need to listen. And if you listen and you hear of an opportunity, you want to be in position to be chosen to create something that has never been created before. But I also heard you speak about the fact that you served and you got so much more than what money could have paid you for, because it helped you become the next level version of yourself. And sometimes when we're looking at our return on investments, we're only looking at the money.
Right.
You have to look at the return on the time, the version of yourself. I can tell you, with every single coaching program I've been in, and every mastermind, and every community that I've been in, a different version of myself have showed up, and a different of my version of myself has exited, because I know in every room that I go into, I am to attract abundance. And I can learn from anybody. I can learn from everybody, because I know if I'm there, God wanted me to be there.
Yep.
Now, one more thing we got to talk about, and there's so many things for us to talk about.
Yep.
And gentlemen, if you have not gotten your ticket to the Attract Abundance Conference, you need to get your ticket to the Attract Abundance Conference, because not only do we focus on attracting abundance, retiring wealthy, and moving millions, but we do focus on you. We're pouring into you. We're not going to talk at you. We're going to talk with you, and it's going to be in the form of a workshop, right? And you're going to connect with people and not just leave with a bunch of notes. Right. I am known as the Women's Wealth Strategist, by the way. I'm the owner of TNA Financial Group, and I specialize in helping business owners build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million-dollar legacies. I thank you for mentioning that I am someone who would love to earn people's business, but if it's something that I don't do, I stay in my lane. I like to network with other experts who can share their expertise and who I trust to give my leads, my prospects, and women and men who are in my community too. So one of the things we're going to speak about this year is diversification. In Ecclesiastes 11, verse 1 and 2, it talks
Mhm.
about diversification, right? And in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, see, I can have conversations like this with you, Ticki. It says, I'm getting excited right now. And Pastor Palmer is on YouTube. He's watching. He knows what I'm about to say, but
Yeah.
it says that you should cast your bread or your grains across the waters, across the seas, right? That's just really been in my spirit for the last couple of months. And when I first read it, I was like, what is that? What does he mean? You put your bread on water. I'm trying to receive bread floating on water. It took a minute, and it took me reading a few translations for it to actually hit. And
Mhm.
what I received from that is there are calculated risks that you need to take with
Mhm.
your money, with your time, and with your energy. And if you only sell your crops and your grain and your bread domestically and you stay domestic,
Hmm.
and you're not going to be able to get the greatest return on your investment. You got to go across the water, and it's very risky to raise and create bread and grain and put that on water back in the biblical days so that your product is going so far and you can't see it. You don't have social media. Their technology was not
Right.
like our technology. We don't know if
Right.
pirates coming to get it. A shark is going to take the ship down. Like, that was so risky. But that's what the wisest man said. I know you
Mhm.
said it's not always about money, but Solomon was the wisest man, and that's what Solomon said, right? And so Solomon, who prayed for wisdom, who was given wealth, said to do that. But then in the second verse, he said that you should invest in 7 ventures, no 8 ventures, because you do not know what's going to happen. You should have diversification with your money. So,
Come
with
on.
that being said, Miss Ticki,
Come on.
I want you to tell us
Yeah.
what are some of the ways that you encourage your network to invest time, effort, energy, and money across the waters, overseas, globally, internationally? Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
You like
So thank you for listen. You speaking my love language now. So and I'm about to come back because you saw something. I'm gonna circle back around after this and get. I'm gonna grab that because I saw it. Um, I'm trying to think about how I want to say this. Okay, I'm gonna give you a phrase that my grandmother that I'm celebrating now turned 100. She used to tell us as kids, "Make haste while the sun is shining."
mm,
And we used to be like, "Grandmama, what is that? What is that? Make haste while the sun is shining."
that was fun and shining.
And at a certain age, I understood that in seasons in life, do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it because it's going to become a season where you can't.
Mm-hmm.
As a mom of a young daughter, there's certain things I just can't do. That season has passed. Now it may come again, but it's past. Being in close proximity with women who make millions and billions, Hot Girl Summers is gone. That's gone. Because now I'm just trying to be real.
You are being real.
You know, there's certain things that I would want. I used to say, but I'm very measured with my words because now words have power, and people use those words to tear up and build down. So, how do I recommend that people diversify? So, number one, you have to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The first investment is you, because if you are not spiritually, mentally, personally, professionally sound, going beyond your borders will take you out.
Mm.
Number two, you have to have a strategy. Because before for that grain, wheat, or whatever to get up the river, you have to think about how much you're gonna have, how you're gonna bag it, how you're gonna box it, who's gonna get it, how it's gonna get there, how you're gonna tally it, get them. That's a process and a plan. Then you have to be able to say, is that being successful? Do we keep doing it? Do we stop? So you don't just people don't just wake up one day and it's this thing. So we're actually I'm doing a business delegation. Actually, I leave on the 4th to expand business across borders. I've done it for corporate. I've done M&As. I've worked with global teams. But how do you take your own business to be able to do that? And I'm not making a big stink about it because I don't know. Won't know until I get there. And it has taught. me some valuable lessons. The tribe of Judah will go back home. It's taught me some valuable lessons, and it's lessons in my own infrastructure, my own readiness,
Mm,
uh, where I have gaps and holes. And so you talk about diversifying. Diversification is the name of the game, but diversifying with a set of key strategies. When I meet with my wealth advisor, we're very clear about the strategy of how I'm diversifying my portfolio. We're not talking about basket weaving unless something major is happening with that. So that strategy is so tight that we can look at the ebb and flows and we look at things that's in the category, parallel to the category, up top, up bottom, and something that may be come down the road. So it's very important to diversify. And when you're in business, diversification may be adding just one more new service. Diversification for you may be adding a different customer profile or segment. It may be going from the garage to a storefront. It may be going from doing nonprofit to commercial to government. It may be going from one price point to two. So sometimes we want to graduate to bigger scales, and not that nobody's poo-pooing that dream because we all want to get there. But how did you build up? I won't have a six-pack overnight unless I go get it worked on and somebody does it and I pay
I'm
for
not paying for it.
it. You can pay for it. Now you're gonna have a lot of pain and soreness, but people who have that, and I use that example, it takes work and time and consistency, and then you have the results that you're looking for. So Terry, I would say that in this season, in this hour, people want a lot of things. Want. And here are the three things I would tell them. Number one, where are you? If you don't know where you are right now, and I mean that fundamentally in your core, in your gut, then getting there, you will have a chance. It can either be easy street or hard street. I'll just say that. Number two, what resources, coming to your conference, learning, buying products, whatever, or don't come to your conference or whatever they're going to do. And then what do you need to do? You, not somebody else, you. This last year, like many organizations, my business was hit. It's like that commercial. I just got hit. I wanted to call the Adler lawyer.
Right.
Hit. But I had reserves because I don't have a lifestyle business.
Mm.
And because I have, now doesn't mean that drawing down my reserves is not hard, but it gave me that window to reconfigure and figure out what I want to do, which is why I'm going international and some other things. So I would tell someone in this hour, and I just said this, I was teaching at the Bow Institute. What in the kingdom are you doing with your business? And if you know what in the kingdom you're doing with your business in the marketplace, what fresh tools do you need to execute on that? And then how do you protect your assets so that it is there for generations to come, but also for your own safety net? When I got hit, I didn't have to cash out a bunch of things. I didn't have to go to my family. I didn't have to do, no offense, a GoFundMe, whatever. I had planned for contingencies. It's like life insurance.
Mm.
I know at someday I'm going to die, but I plan whenever it happens, how to use that policy for generations to come. I plan to retire, and whether it's annuity, stocks, bonds, whatever, how do I use these instruments now for later so that I can retire with a certain amount of resources to live the life that she's going to live when she gets there? I'm not there today, but soon I will be. So I hope that this has been very helpful. And
Yes,
I'm trying
Van.
to be very practical because sometimes people overcomplicate.
Hmm.
Right now, in the bow, our founder and CEO has been talking about health. You can have $100 million and your business is not healthy. You're not healthy. A lot is not healthy. And so this entire year, we left our conference here in Texas. It is about health.
Hmm.
You're going under the covers, pulling back the layers, and be like, when was the last time you changed the oil in that?
Yes.
And I've had to do that too, selling the same old products, the same. And if AI hasn't taught us anything, like, get my advice, I got to redo that because now there are other tools, and I have to look at what my business will do and what new health will look like as I go forward.
Yes. Ooh. So good. Look, we can do this all day, Tiki, and you know that. And ladies and gentlemen, even if you're watching the replay, by the way, put a hashtag replay if you are watching the replay. But even if you're watching the replay, put this is good or put the word inspirational, motivational, educational, if it was any of those things to you. And Tiki, thank you so much for giving us your time. I know that this is a very powerful weekend. This is a very incredible weekend for you and your family. It's a legacy built weekend, and I just speak longevity over you and everything that you do so
Speak.
that you can be like your grandmother and be here
Yes.
for a century. Like
Yes.
I would love that. If Jesus delays his coming, I want to be here a long time too, which means I got to
I want to be here as long as he say he want me here, not a day more or a day less. Well,
no.
first of all, Terry, let me just say that I am very proud of you in what you're doing to change the lives of others. There's a lot of organizations, and again, anybody that tries to do good for good's sake is good. And I'm very appreciative of just the personal touch that you put in making connections and what you're trying to do in this community and through your speakers. We've had strategic planning conversations, and I appreciate, and watch this. I've been able to share insights with Terry, and she is actually listening and running through those and putting them. So I think they used her, even coaches have coaches. And so don't think she's just out here flying solo. I think she's been on 2 mastermind retreats since I've known her to make sure that she stays up to date. Finally, I would say to anybody that's watching, there is a plan for you to live an abundant life. And abundance is not just money. Because some people would say, money. It is your mental, physical, spiritual. It is the life that you can write down and consecrate. It is the life that you can chase after with good intentions, good for good sake. And I would say you can look at someone like me. It has not always been easy. I make mistakes. I overshoot my landing sometimes. I miss the open door. I'm tired and fatigued, and I say things or do things that at the moment, but I'm very clear that I will have the life that was written for me before I was formed and placed. And in this season, I want everyone to be very intentional about saying, where are you? And you will hear who told you that. Who told you you couldn't? Who told you you could not? Who told you this? And when you get very clear and quiet, there will be a small voice that will say, go this way. And so I'm hopeful that today, as a living witness of what could be, not what I've done and accomplished, all of that's going to go away, but the visualization of hope and healing. And it's just like when Jesus healed, when you could see that miracle, it gave people more hope. And so all the accolades, all the things, trust me, there was crushing that came with it. But what I want you to know today is that you too can have everything that is in your heart if you get disciplined to do it. So thank you, Dr. Terry, for letting me share that final comment.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Get your ticket to the Attract Abundance Conference, the
Yes,
gala, get in the room and connect with Ticki.
yes.
How can we
Connect with
connect with you? How can we stay connected with
me.
you?
The best way, obviously LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me through Dr. Tier. If you need something, go to her. She'll tell me. We text and talk all the time. Um, and I think when you go to LinkedIn, you'll find out all the things I'm in. You can drill down, contact. I don't want people to be on a wild goose chase. So just LinkedIn, send me a note. And then, I most definitely, myself or someone from my team will try to respond. And we'll go from there. We'll go from there.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Queen. I
Thank
hope you
you.
have an
Thank
amazing
you.
weekend
I
and
am.
have an abundant day. See you on
Yeah.
the next video.
Thanks,
Adios.
guys. Have a good one. Bless going in.